We begin this noon hour with a live look at I64 near 9th Street because westbound lanes just reopened 20 minutes ago. They were shut down for about 7 hours after a large fire early this morning at a building next to an interstate overpass. The state transportation cabinet closed the interstate after that fire to allow their inspectors to check the overpass to make sure it is safe for drivers and structurally sound. Let me take you upstairs now to Sky 11 to the drone. You can see where state inspectors were on the interstate checking for any structural damage. That's because those flames from that fire did reach the overpass. In fact, they managed to even burn part of a billboard next to the highway. The fire scene itself is at 16th and Northwestern Parkway in the Portland neighborhood. You see Jim Stratman there for us live right now. Jim, what are you seeing at this point?
Well, Eric, what you can see behind me is the burnt out remnants of the building that caught fire this morning. It looks like it's been completely destroyed, just rubble behind me. But what I want to actually point your attention to is past the building. You can see the pitch black scorch marks and the soot that's still caked on to the side of I-64. That right there was the main concern for inspectors throughout most of this morning. Just before 5 o'clock this morning, this abandoned building between I-64 Westbound and the Ohio River caught fire. Fire officials say they immediately took up defensive positions around the building, and it took about an hour before they brought that blaze under control. You can see from these videos that the fire department posted the intensity of that fire. Officials shut down all lanes of I-64 a little after 5 a.m. And as the morning went on, they began to detour traffic on I-64 westbound at the 9th Street exit. KYTC inspectors were on scene by 8:30 to check on the damage to the interstate. A spokesperson told me at the time that parts of I-64 westbound could be shut down for several hours. And now we know that traffic is resumed as normal along I-64 westbound. I was able to actually speak with some of the engineers who were working on the bridge just before they put in the call to reopen I-64 westbound. They actually had to dig through a lot of the soot that was caked onto I-64 to be able to tell that it was structurally sound enough that they could reopen at this point. We are hoping to get a little bit more information from KYTC as the day continues, and we'll be sure to keep you updated with more information as we get it. For now, in Louisville, Jim Stratman, WHAS11 on your side.
Solid reporting, Jim. Thank you. Make sure you stay connected with us as we learn more about how this fire started and also any updates. That's available to you at the WHAS11 app or on WHAS11.com. Metro Police are investigating a fatal shooting in the California neighborhood. This happened just before 6 last night on Prentice Street. Police say they found the body of a man who'd been shot inside a car. Alexis Jones and photojournalist Addie Hill report.
A deadly shooting on Prentice Street left neighbors searching for answers Tuesday night.
I just want to make sure this is not someone that I'm affiliated with, and of course to make sure that the house is secure.
Pastor Broderick Smith's church is blocks away from where the incident happened. Since moving to the area in 2021, he says he hasn't seen much crime.
A couple of car break-ins, but other than that, it's a quiet neighborhood. We want to make sure that this is not a reoccurring offense.
According to LMPD, the shooting happened just doors down from where I'm standing. There is where they found a man who appeared to be in his 30s, suffering from a gunshot wound. Officers say they rendered aid until EMS arrived. The man was later pronounced dead at the scene. Now the department's homicide unit is overseeing the investigation.
I believe the city is really getting tired of scenes like this.
According to LMPD's gun violence dashboard, LMPD has investigated 149 homicides this year. Pastor Smith hopes to see the number drop in 2024. In the meantime, he has a message for the community.
It's time to put the guns down. If you don't know what you're doing, put them down. Talk it out.
Before it's too late. Alexis Jones, WHAS11 on your side.
Metro Police have not identified any suspects, so if you have any information, you're urged to call the anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD. You can also leave a tip on the online portal. Arson investigators are looking into a deadly fire in the Shawnee neighborhood. It was a two-story apartment building on River Park Drive. The Louisville Fire Department responded just after 7 yesterday morning to reports of an activated smoke alarm. When firefighters arrived, they found a woman who was trapped inside. While they were able to get her out, she later died at a local hospital. We're told the apartment involved had moderate damage, but no other units were damaged. A motorcyclist was killed on Christmas Eve in a crash. This happened around 3:30 Sunday afternoon at the intersection of Tipton and Community Drive in Seymour, Indiana. Investigators believe a van pulled out into the intersection at the same time as the motorcyclist, and they collided. The motorcyclist has been identified as Thomas Jones of Seymour. Police do not believe alcohol or drugs were a factor. And some good news from Kentucky's lieutenant governor, who says she's received a clean bill of health after her double mastectomy last week. Jacqueline Coleman says she had the procedure after her doctors raised concerns in a routine exam. In a statement yesterday, she announced her post-surgery reports came back clean. Coleman emphasized the importance of taking care of your health, saying, quote, early detection and prevention were the difference makers for me, and they are for you too. Go schedule that appointment that's been in the back of your mind. Reprehensible and sickening. These are the words Metro Police leaders used in 2022 about these incidents of two officers throwing drinks at people. Well, we've now obtained the video from the infamous slushygate through an open records request. WHAS11's Jim Stratman reports.
A lot has changed since August of 2018, the first time that LMPD officers recorded themselves throwing drinks on residents. Still, the video is quite shocking, and it does shine a light on the department and the city as they work to negotiate a consent decree.
Thirsty fam!
The actions of officers caught on video throwing drinks on citizens who were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Dude, I actually feel bad about that. I don't know if I got it on film.
Laughing at the outcome. The Department of Justice said that between August 2018 and September of 2019, two former LMPD officers, Brian Wilson and Kurt Flynn, violated the rights of citizens they were sworn to protect through actions like this.
Up against the building. Oh, she's done. Don't miss. Get her.
The two pleaded guilty in 2022. Wilson was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison, while Flynn was set to serve 3 months.
That is an unacceptable set of incidents that happened years ago before the chief was chief, or even on LMPD, and before I was mayor.
In the wake of the video being released, Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg spoke to our Isaiah Kim Martinez about where the department was at the time and where he believes it's heading.
We are focused on improving the culture of LMPD, where we proactively work with community, where we build trust with the community, and we want to have an LMPD that everyone trusts and respect. And so we are focused on a very different way of training. We've improved focus on supervision. Incidents like that will not be tolerated by Chief Gwynn Biller-Roel or myself.
Remember, it was that kind of culture that led to the department and the city entering into a consent decree negotiation with the Department of Justice. Now, in that sit-down interview with Mayor Greenberg, the mayor said that the city has still not received the first draft of that consent decree. Reporting in Louisville, Jim Stratman, WHAS 11, on your side.
And in a statement, a spokesperson for Metro Police called the incident a painful part of the police department's history. They go on to say everyone involved in the incident is no longer employed by the department or have been disciplined. Metro Police say it's implemented reforms that emphasize constitutional policing while rebuilding community trust.